What's up YouTube? It's your girl Majestic Madness 15 and we're back at it again with another video, and this time I wanted to take some time to really talk to you guys about some of my favorite technology of 2024. Now, all of this stuff did not come out this year. All of the stuff was not stuff that I purchased this year, but this was the beginning of my tech channel, or at least a tech focus on my channel, you know? And there's a lot of technology that I use that I love that either came out this year or didn't, but I just wanted to share it because even if I didn't buy it this year, it was used a lot throughout this year. And if I'm being honest with you, I don't even know where to start. I'm a tech girly. I love it all, from smart water bottles to smart mugs to smart hair dryers. You know, if it's smart, give it to me. I want to try it out and I want to find out what's so smart about it. But I guess we can just go ahead and start. I do have an Ember mug. I did receive this as a gift for my birthday last year. And when I tell you that this thing is amazing, have you ever wanted to drink a beverage and not immediately burn your tongue? Because that's how I feel about this. When I put any type of liquid in it, I always immediately set the temperature that I want it to be in the app, and it will tell me when it is ready. It is so amazing. I actually transport it with me to the office so that I can use it both when I'm making like coffee or tea at home, but also so that I can make drinks when I'm at the office. I have 2 charging coasters so that it can just go between, because the first time that your coffee is at the right temperature and you do not burn your tongue, you will never want to use anything other ever again. Because there is just something about either burning your tongue or letting your coffee get too cold, and now you either have to heat it up or throw it away, and it's not a great time. So major shout out to my friend Nova Red Soul. They got this for me for my birthday last year, and it completely just changed my life and changed my hot beverage game. I have also made hot chocolate and put hot chocolate in here. Delicious. Anything warm, amazing. The only caveat is if your liquid gets too cold, the mug itself will not register that it is in there. So you can't just like take milk and pour it in there and make your own hot chocolate. You do have to heat the milk up first and then put it in the cup. You do have the capacity to turn it off. It does run on a battery, but I think the battery only lasts a good like 3 or 4 hours. So typically if I'm sitting at my desk, it's sitting on its coaster, so it's always charging or always, you know, at full battery, so I never have to worry about my beverages getting cold or the battery dying. But sometimes I go take it and I sit in the living room, or I just sit somewhere else, and at those points it is running off the battery, but it lasts a pretty long time. So I definitely recommend these. These always go on sale around the holiday time. They have them at Costco, they have them at Best Buy. I love it. I love this product so much. So if you are a hot beverage person, this was made for you. Speaking of smart, just drinkware, this was another good time to just kind of jump right into my Hydrate bottles. Hydrate is a company that I have followed for years. I have tried the last 3 iterations of their smart water bottles. I love their concept. I love their customer service. I love what their company stands for, which is really just how do we make drinking water easier to keep track of. I've been with them. I say with them like I have a sponsorship. I do not. I've just been consuming their products since the Hydrate Spark 2, and every time they come out with something new, it is completely different. I don't think that there are many companies that I have seen that actually take user feedback and try to make a better product. Like the first one that I used, which was their second water bottle, had the sensor puck coming out of the lid. The second one had the sensor puck coming out of the bottom, because they were just trying to find ways of how do we get this bottle to sense how much water is in here without, you know, potentially exposing the battery to water damage, you know? And this one, what they introduced was actually putting a sensor puck in the bottom. This is what it looks like. You screw it into the bottom of the tumbler, and what it'll do is every time that you fill this up with water, you have to sit it down so that it can actually sense how much water is in the bottle. And every time you drink it, it will sense how much water is left and it'll deplete. You can set it to give glow reminders, so the bottom of this bottle will actually glow to tell you, hey, like, you haven't drank water, you're behind your water goal. And if you're ahead of the goal, it won't do that. If you're behind, it will. I love these so much. They came out a couple of years ago, but I always switch back to them when I realize I'm just not drinking enough water. I'll be honest and say that for day-to-day use, 40-ounce tumbler is actually like super useful, and I really hope that as a company they figure out how to come up with those, because if I could get a hydrate bottle but the size of a Stanley, I would never need anything else. But I mean, I have the tumbler, I have the 32-ounce water bottle, and I have the 21-ounce water bottle. So if you can't tell, I love these products, and I buy the new iteration every time the new one comes out, because like I said, if I ever find that I'm just not drinking enough water, sometimes these are just perfect enough to get me back into it. It's just not as, I hate to say it, but it's not as convenient as being able to carry around like a regular water bottle. This does always have to sit down before you drink it so that it actually has an accurate reading of how much water you've had. You do have to worry about, you know, charging the pucks, which typically need to charge about once every week or so. The other thing is you cannot, because it's weight-based, ice is something that it can sense the ice, but it is going to negatively reflect in how much water you actually drink. You know, if it's trying to sense how much water you had and 50% of your cup is ice, that's going to impact, you didn't drink a full 20-ounce bottle of water, even though at some point, you know, that ice did melt and you drank it, and it's still just not going to sense it properly. So the ice calculation and also the fact that you can't do like lemon water are really the main reasons why I end up switching to another water bottle. The app itself does have the capability to sense if you're doing like electrolyte powder in your water, if you're doing energy powder in your water. This one, you're supposed to be able to put coffee, so you can set it to put other beverages in there, and it'll assess, you know, how much water are you intaking by drinking coffee, because some of these other beverages do have some essence of water in them. But no, I love them. I just wish I could get a bigger one. I wish I could get an easier one. I just honestly wish I could get something in the style of a Stanley. The 32-ounce water bottle is great, but it's terrible for traveling in a car. I had to actually get like a extender for my cup holder just to have it, because it just doesn't fit in standard cup holders. But then that also means that it just kind of jiggles around in the car a lot more, which then makes it accidentally sense too much water. So there are some things that they can improve upon in order to make this product better. But like I said, it's a company that is constantly taking a product that they know people like, sending out surveys, getting like customer feedback, and trying to make it better along the way. This is the best iteration of Hydrate that I have experienced thus far, and this is the 3rd generation that I have been a part of. I think it's their 4th generation, period. Their customer service is amazing. When I have had issues in the past with their water bottles, you know, I've been able to contact them and they've sent me replacement pieces to try to figure out, like, why is it leaking? Why is water getting into the sensor puck? All of that stuff. So the customer service of it is really what keeps me going back to the company. You can also have it connect to your Fitbit. It can connect to Google Health. It can connect to your Apple Watch, and it'll take your physical activity along with like the weather to dictate how much water you should actually be drinking in a day. If you want to just set it to a manual goal of, I want to drink this much, it will do that for you. And if you want to actually, you know, let it fluctuate, it'll fluctuate based off of your physical activity. When you get the regular bottles, you can get a chug lid or you can get a straw lid. So they really found a way to kind of appeal to everyone. And they have so many different pretty colors. I do have the large 32 ounce in black, but I have a couple different colors of the 20 ounce. I'm not gonna hold you. This is making me want to switch back to my water bottle. So I might switch back. Like I said, I switch back to these multiple times a year because I really love the concept. I really love the idea. It's just sometimes, especially this is the one that I typically use the most because I can use a straw with it. It's not the easiest to carry around. It's, you know, after you have a Stanley or just a tumbler with a handle, this is not necessarily the easiest thing to carry around. And I have to get up and fill this up significantly more times than I have to do like a large 40 ounce tumbler. And all of my 40 ounce tumblers fit in standard cup holders, where this either has to sit in an extender or just roll around in my passenger seat. So I do hope that they kind of fit this wave of 40 ounce tumblers that we have right now, and they can make a product to fit in that line. But yeah, if you're looking for something to track your water and just encourage you to drink more water, because when I tell you this thing will glow, it'll glow in front of your face to tell you that you have not had enough water. And sometimes I'll fill up all 3 of them in a day, and I'll take this one with me to the gym, and I'll drink, you know, electrolyte powder out of this one, and then I'll drink, you know, regular water out of this one. Like, I do personally get a lot out of using my bottles. So yeah, they're great for any person who is just not drinking enough water and needs something to actually track it for you instead of you tracking it yourself. Love the company. Hydrate Spark. Can't recommend them enough. Now, let's get a little bit into hair care before we get into some of the tech that you guys have seen on this channel and my kind of final 2024 thoughts of what is my favorite tech. I know a lot of people don't think about the fact that we have so much technology in our hair care, but really when you have companies like Dyson and Shark and Conair trying to figure out how we can make these styling tools while also doing minimal heat damage to your hair, because heat damage is a silent but smelly killer. I'm being so honest with you. As a person who as a child had a flat iron that was entirely too hot, it made my hair look great, but my mom would tell me, hey, you're burning your hair off. And I'm like, no, it looks great. And then it was short. Heat damage is a silent killer. So when it comes to like what smart hair products I like to use, I love using the Dyson Corral as my flat iron of choice. And then I also have the Shark Flex Style as my blow dryer, curler, all of that jazz. I managed to get this one from Costco, so I got all of the attachments and a fraction of the price, if I'm being honest with you. So I like using the curlers. I use the diffuser when my hair is curly. I use the brush to help straighten out my hair when I'm blow drying it after I wash it. And this is great. This is great. It's basically, if you know about the Dyson Airwrap, it's basically a Dyson Airwrap. But the beauty of it is this does swivel. So this is perfect when I like blow dry my hair or diffuse my hair. I can swivel it this way and, you know, stick on the attachments, or I can keep it straight up and stick on different attachments depending on what I'm doing. It only has 3 heat settings, 3 fan settings, and a cool button. And it's great. It's great. I typically, unless I'm curling my hair, I really do not go over like 1, maybe 2 on the heat settings, and then like 2 for the fan speed. And that's really all I need. It dries my hair very quickly. And even when you look up the actual degrees of this, it's not that high. The whole purpose of it is that the airflow should not be high enough to do significant heat damage. I mean, if you're not using any type of heat protectant, you're running the risk of damaging your hair in some capacity. But as long as you're using like a heat protectant and you're aware of like how hot this is getting, you really don't have much to really worry about. The only reason I use the highest heat setting and the highest fan setting when I curl my hair is just because the hotter it is, it just helps hold that curl, and then I use the cool shot right after to kind of set it. So this is amazing. I will say that I think at the highest setting, it is a little bit hotter than the Dyson Airwrap, but this is significantly cheaper. They do have a new one. I do not have the new Flex. It's Shark Flex Fusion. I do not have that. That one has a wet to dry setting. I would love to try it, but at this point I just can't really justify buying another hair tool when I have hair tools that work for me. But this is amazing. Pick it up from Costco. That is like the best recommendation I can give you. And yeah, it's a fraction of the price of the Dyson Airwrap. I think the Airwrap retails for like $600 and you can get this for under $300 all the time. There are more accessories that you can buy on the Shark website, but for the most part, if you get it from Costco, you get pretty much all the accessories except for like 3 of them. And the Dyson Corral. Now, this was the Dyson product I had to have. Outside of, I do have the Dyson blow dryer. I was using the Dyson blow dryer before I got the Shark Flex style, and now that's my blow dryer of choice because it just does so much more. But this flat iron is worth it simply because it is wireless. This thing is wireless. It runs off of a battery. You can select the heat settings. You only have about 3, and it's designed to, you know, have regulated heat on both sides of the plates. It's rounded off on the side to kind of help you with curling, but also it's supposed to help smooth the hair as you're flat ironing it, so that, you know, it's, I can't, it's already hot. I just turned it on, it's already at the designated heat, but the whole purpose of this is to help smooth out the hair while you're actually straightening your hair, and also to just protect it more. It just protects it more. I feel like even when I use like the 400 degrees, which I don't use that often, it's still not like regular flat iron 400 degrees. The plates are really good. The charge actually lasts a pretty lengthy time, and it also has an airplane mode. So I have in fact gone to the airport with this. It was fully charged because it came with a stand and it's always on the stand charging. I've gone to an airport before and realized I needed to touch up some of my hair, and I've pulled it out, turn it on, touch it up. It came with this little case that you can put it in when it's still hot and it'll cool down. And yeah, just perfect. Just perfect. You do not understand how useful a wireless flat iron is until you use it. Because anytime that I've had to use a wired flat iron, it's not it. It's not it. So this goes on sale a lot, but it is still pretty pricey. I got this and the Shark last year, but they are staples in my hair care and how I do my hair. So I can't not talk about my favorite tech of 2024 without discussing the stuff that gets me ready every single day. So amazing. It goes on sale quite often, so if you can snag it on sale, I would definitely recommend this. But yeah, Dyson knew what they were doing with this, and I love them for it, because even using that with a cord, having to find a plug, sometimes it's annoying. Now, do I occasionally have to like charge this for a hot second when I'm using it? Occasionally, but normally I can get my whole head done without actually having to use it. All right, so another piece of technology that I got this year that I got kind of towards the end, and I haven't had a lot of use with it, would be my Bose Quiet Comfort headphones. I purchased these because I was having so many issues with my Sonys. I didn't have the Sony XMs. I actually had like the Sony like XH, lower end. You can't even find them anymore. They don't sell those Sonys anymore, but I bought them last year. And I bought them because of the price point. I needed over-the-ear headphones because when it really comes down to it, I much prefer to wear these when I'm at the gym than anything else. It doesn't matter how secure my earbuds are during day-to-day activities, they always fall off when I'm in the gym, or I'm adjusting them constantly if I'm running on the treadmill. So over-the-ear headphones are great. But when it came to my Sonys, sometimes they just wouldn't turn on. They would be fully charged and they just would not turn on. And I'd have to plug them into a charger for a couple of minutes. And then whenever I went into the app to check the status of them, they would always be at like 100%. And I'm like, you have quick charge, but you're not supposed to charge to 100% in 5 minutes. So that would happen often. And there was just no way to turn them back on without actually plugging them into the charger. And I think for me, the final straw was that I tried to charge them because I thought they might actually be dead and they wouldn't charge. I kept getting an indication that it was an abnormal temperature. I tried multiple different chargers. I tried charging them in my car. I tried charging them in the gym, and it just kept saying abnormal temperature. And it's not like my headphones stay in my car overnight or anything like that. Like, I understand it's colder, but it just didn't make sense. I had to wait until the next day to even get any type of charge out of them. And then, like I said, they'll not work. And then they'll come around and they'll work like we never had any issues. And it was getting too unreliable. So I traded those in. And I had a bunch of points at Best Buy, and these were already on sale, and I purchased these. And when I tell you these are the most comfortable headphones I have ever worn, I now understand why people sleep in these. Okay? People sleep in the Bose, and it's because they're super comfortable, one, and two, the noise cancellation is amazing. For starters, it is one of those headphones, the Bose app is one of those apps that actually lets you customize how noise canceling you want something to be. So I have set up multiple different instances of, fully quiet, fully aware. I mean, when I'm at the gym, I like the noise cancellation to be a little higher than 50%, but not all the way. I want to be able to hear if somebody's near me. But then when I'm at work, I have that set down to a little under 50% of noise cancellation. So I just simply love the fact that you can adjust how noise canceling these are. I know a lot of people complain that Bose just don't have that great of a bass, but they do have an equalizer, and you are able to use the auto settings of the equalizer, or you can just increase certain things the way that you want to. So I increased the bass in the equalizer, and I think it sounded a lot better. They quickly connect. They connect to more than one device at a time, and they switch between the two very seamlessly. I can watch a video on my tablet and also hear a notification from my phone without really interrupting anything. So yeah, these are amazing. I've only had them for a short amount of time, but in that time that I've had them, it is 10 out of 10. And I have to give Best Buy a shout out when it comes to these products, because I did, if you saw my reel, I did do an unboxing, but it was a kind of an unconventional unboxing, and I want to explain. Best Buy has a lot of open box products, meaning that if somebody buys something or something's a floor unit, they will still sell it at a discounted price. They'll tell you exactly what is open box about it, if it's missing anything, if it's not missing anything. I have bought many a product open box that looked practically brand new. Like either it was a floor unit or somebody bought it and wrapped it up so perfectly it doesn't even look like somebody used it. Or I think in some instances somebody bought something and they read the specs and they were like, this isn't what I wanted, and they didn't even open it in the first place. But because it's been bought and returned, they marked down the price. I got this markdown because it was open box. I bought laptops, I've bought tablets. Open box is always going to be my way to go. Now, I typically go for open box excellent, but you still have the exact same warranty, the exact same return period that you would have if you bought the product new. So thank you for just always having that as an option, because that was a big part of me getting these, was that not only were they on sale, but I also managed to get another good like $20 off because I bought them open box. So if you can, buy something open box. It's, you know, perfectly safe, perfectly comfortable. And if you're not comfortable with buying something open box, don't do it. Pay that full price. But open box is going to be your friend. Somebody explained that to me like 10 plus years ago. And as a result, I always look and see if I'm going to buy something, if open box is even an option. So now, did this not come with the charging cable? No. Do I need another USB-C cable? No. Did the box not look like a regular box? Kind of, because it didn't have the pretty sleeve on the outside. It just had the inside box. So this was not one of the unboxing experiences that I normally have when it comes to open box, but they work perfectly fine. They're not broken, they're not damaged. I cleaned them as soon as I got them, since they were on somebody's head, potentially. And if I have any issues with them, I can take them back the same way I would if they were brand new. So thank you. Since we are talking about headphones, we cannot talk about over-the-ear headphones without talking about earbuds. And when it comes to earbuds, the Galaxy Buds 3 Pro are still my favorite go-to earbuds. When I tell you these just work, they just work. Now, I will have a day here or there where maybe they just don't fit in my ears as well. Maybe my ear is a little wet. Maybe they need to be cleaned. You know, I've got hair wet ears happen. But these are still my favorite earbuds. I tried the Pixel Buds. Those were super comfortable, but they just did not have the capability of these. And therefore, you know, I returned them. They were not the earbuds that I chose to keep. But these are still my favorites. I love the controls. I love the noise cancellation. I love the auto adaptive mode where it can hear that it's loud outside. I mean, sometimes it can be as simple as I'm washing my hands or I'm cooking and it can hear the water running and it'll turn on the noise cancellation. That will continue to be one of my favorite features in earbuds. It's super useful, super convenient, and I love it. It helps me hear my content without having to raise the volume for a minimal brief moment. So these will continue to be my favorite earbuds until, I don't know, maybe the Galaxy Buds 4. Maybe that's what will change my mind, but I don't think so. Now, something that I am considering a sleeper hit, because it is a piece of technology that has been around for a while, but it's a type of technology I had never actually expected myself to get, is my e-reader. I absolutely love this thing. When I tell you that this has completely shaped how I read, how quickly I read, how much I enjoy reading, it has. Not only did I decorate it on the back to make it, you know, cute and a little aesthetic, but it's just great. I have the Kobo Clara color. Everything's in color. Your covers are in color. If you put comic books on here, of course, those will be in color. I do not have any comic books. I have some manga, but the manga is black and white. But when I tell you that this device goes with me everywhere, and it just works. I don't have anything else to say to you other than it just works, and it works so well. I mean, it syncs up directly with your library. If you have a library card, you can rent books from the library. You can return them. You can add them to your hold list. It'll send you a notification as soon as a book is available from your library hold list. You can load your own books on here, and it's so easy. I've heard that it's so much more complicated to add books to a Kindle than it is to add books to a Kobo. If I plug this into my computer reads this just like it's a thumb drive. Or I can use the Caliber app and I can actually like sculpt my library, update my metadata, and sync the books over that way. But yeah, I went from, in my opinion, taking forever to read books to finishing books in like 3 to 4 days very easily. And that's just never been how I read. But this gives you so many metrics on how long it's taking you to read, how long it thinks it's going to take you to read, your progress. You can, adjust the font, which adjusts the page numbers when it comes to like chapters and total book. But it's so customizable to make a comfortable reading experience for you, and it's a fraction of the price of a Kindle. I mean, I'm pretty positive the Kindle Color retails, when you include taxes, to about $300, and this one is like $150. It is smaller. They do have a larger one that has buttons, and that's the Kobo Libra color. I've seen that a lot of people love that one, but this 6-inch display fits perfectly in my purse or my sweatshirt pocket, if I'm being honest. I hold it while I walk on the treadmill at the gym. It's perfect. And I never thought that one of my favorite pieces of technology of the year would be an e-reader, but I will not shut up about this. I tell everybody about it because, I mean, I've been reading my whole life and I have never read as fast as I read now. I never have. Going into my tablet, I did make a big switch this year. I finally let go of an iPad and I switched to a Samsung tablet. I do have the Samsung Galaxy Tab S9 Plus, and this is something I bought on OpenBox. It was discounted, and when I tell you that I love this tablet, I genuinely love this tablet. There's so much more capability than with a iPad, simply because I get the same capability that I get on my Samsung phone, but on a larger screen. I have the picture-in-picture of like 3 different apps, and I can pop up apps. The screen is absolutely gorgeous, and I think the new thing that I didn't even realize I was missing is the fact that I can stream Game Pass games. All I have to do is sync a controller to this, and I can actually stream the game on my tablet. If you go back and you watch my review on this tablet, you can see my side-by-side comparison. And when it comes to the Game Pass app, the iPad can open the app, it can download a game to your console, but it can't actually stream. This can actually stream Game Pass games or games that you own that are streamable, because Xbox just recently announced that, there are a list of games that if you own them, you can stream them. And yeah, it's amazing. I love the fact that the S Pen was included, with the tablet. You didn't have to buy it separately. It's been great. I feel like I still have some work to do when it comes to using it to its full potential, but it's been a really good digital day planner, which was like my biggest thing that I use my iPad for, but also just perfect for consuming content and also creating content, because I have occasionally edited using LumaVision on here. Only drawback that I have about it isn't even the fault of the tablet. I think this is always my drawback when you switch from a Apple device to a Samsung device or just any Android device. It's the fact that a lot of applications just do not get the same support that they get on Apple, and when they move them over to Android, they're just half done. I was really looking forward to the fact that GoodNotes was on here and I was going to get a year of GoodNotes for free because that was my designated like PDF annotator app on my iPad. And the GoodNotes application is terrible. I feel like saying that it's terrible isn't even enough of a slight to the app. It is so half-baked. If you download it from the Google Store, it almost like runs in Google Chrome. If you download it from the Galaxy Store, both of them have their issues, but for whatever reason, they have different issues depending on which store you download this app from. And I would have rather they not introduce it into Android and just put more work into it. There is no phone support, sadly. So if you want to use it, or if you want to be able to look at any of your notes on your phone, you can't, because you have to have a very specific screen size to even be able to download this app. So I have tried other applications. I currently use Penly, and I'm trying out NoteShelf 3, both of which I like. I think NoteShelf just looks a lot nicer. It reminds me a lot of GoodNotes, and that is, you know, available on iPads and Androids and Windows, and I think also Amazon Fire tablets. They're rolling it out to everyone. Of course, Apple is going to get the best features first, but it's usable, it's good, it's nice. It is a paid app, so I would recommend buying it from the Google Store instead of the Galaxy Store, simply because the Google Store is getting updates a lot faster than the Galaxy Store, even though the Galaxy Store has it on sale. But so far, I've liked the app. There's been a few hiccups here or there, but if you're really looking for something that works very well as an PDF annotator for digital day planning or just note-taking in general, Penly is a very good app. It is also a paid app, but that was the one that I settled on when I initially switched, because that was a big thing for me. If I can't figure out how to do this well, I can't switch to Android. I would have kept my iPad because that's what I use it the most. I use my digital day planner to plan my day, plan my work, my meetings, my calendars for certain months, the year, all of that. And if I can't figure out how to do it well, it wasn't going to be a good switch. But I did, and I'm trying out other apps and also just like hoping that GoodNotes decides they want to get it together, but they haven't done an update in quite a while, so I highly doubt that. But yeah, no, I love this tablet. It is simply beautiful. The display is beautiful. Playing games on it has been amazing. I've played Octopath Traveler 2 on it and loved it. And like I said, all I have to do is sync up my controller to the tablet and can play no issues. I haven't even really had issues of dropping frames. So it plays like it does on my console, which brings me to like my honorary mention of not even tech, but tech before we get to, you know, the big one, which is going to be the phone of the year. I have to give a major shout out to Xbox and Game Pass, because when I tell you that Game Pass, it's not even just Game Pass when it really comes down to it. When I just tell you that Xbox, how they are doing gaming really just works for me. And I don't want you to think, don't let the sweater fool you. I grew up a Sony girl. I grew up a PlayStation girl. I have a PS5. I have an Xbox Series X. But there is something about Game Pass that is so convenient. They're really putting their foot into something here. The biggest things for me is the fact that, one, when you purchase a game from the Xbox Store, of course it's not every game, but if you look, a lot of the times they're making more and more games that are Xbox Anywhere games, meaning that they are compatible for PC and they are compatible for console. Of course, like I said, you have to look. Not every game is like that, but I play a lot of, 80 plus hour long JRPGs. This year alone, I have started Metaphor, I have started Octopath Traveler 2, and I have started Persona 3 Reload, right? 2 of those games were on Game Pass. They were a part of my monthly subscription, so I didn't actually have to buy them, but I can play those games anywhere I go. I can play them on my tablet, I can play them on a Samsung TV, I can play them on a Fire Stick, I can play them on a computer, I can stream them on devices, or I can download them on a computer or a console. And for somebody who this year has been on the move a lot, I've had a lot of traveling that I've had to do, being able to take my games with me actually means that I can finish them. Because it took me all year to finish Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And the biggest reason was because I had to be home with my PlayStation in order to play. Or I had to lug my PlayStation somewhere with me to be able to play. And you just don't always want to do that. I'm always going to travel with my tablet and my laptop. So if I can play a game on any of those devices that are just not home, and I can pick up my progress like I never left home, you have me sold. I recently just tried streaming The Witcher on a Samsung TV through an app. No console, no device, no nothing. It was amazing. All I needed to do was sync up a controller, which I always have a controller with me because I'm always traveling with something that can play video games. But just when it comes to Game Pass, like being able to stream games like that is amazing. The fact that they're allowing this capability with games that you actually purchase is amazing. And then, like I said, I always like to look, because when it really comes down to it, I don't have a preference of what console I buy a game for. The selling point is going to be, is it Xbox Anywhere? If I can buy this game one time and play this on any laptop, computer, anything that can download the file, and also play on any Xbox that I come across, I'm going to buy it on Xbox, just automatically. That's going to get me every time, because I'm getting so much more out of my $40, $50, $60 purchase if I can play it literally. I have taken a friend's laptop and downloaded a game that I was playing and picked up right where I left off when I left my house. There's no, as far as I know, there's no limit to how many computers you can download a game on. There's no limit. The only thing is, of course, you can't play on 2 devices at once. So if you start a game on your Xbox and you start it on your PC, it is going to, shut one of them off. But you can do whatever. And even as a streamer, that has come in handy a couple of times, switching to a PC version of a game because my capture card isn't working, or just something. So it's nice. You don't a lot of the times have to buy a game twice. You can buy it once and it'll be available for multiple different consoles. Whereas, when it comes to PlayStation, yes, you can download that game on another PlayStation. You do have to rely on having a PlayStation membership and your save data being in the cloud. But like I said, it took me significantly longer to finish Final Fantasy VII because I had to be with my PlayStation to play. And I just wasn't with my PlayStation that much this year. So Xbox and Game Pass will always be on my top tech of the year because they just keep making that subscription service so much better and better. I mean, it's $20 a month, and I understand, like, that is a decent amount of money, but when I think about how many, even just like $40 to $60 games I either started or finished this year, and even last year, I mean, I played Hellblade. That's a $60 game. It would still take me 3 months of Xbox memberships to buy that game, when I think about the fact that I played Hellblade, I played Persona, and I played Octopath, I think when you put all of those games together, it's like $160, right? And those are just some of the games I played. Those are the games that I really honed in on. There are other games that I picked up and played for a little bit. I played some Sifu this year. I played Party Animals. And still, to think about the fact that I could have had to buy those games on top of having to pay for a membership, it's worth it. It's worth it to me, at least. I'm getting a lot out of my membership than if I didn't have it. So I talk about Game Pass all the time on my stream because it really makes a huge difference in my gaming and allows me to do so much when it comes to my gaming when I'm not home. So yeah, it's always gonna be up there. It's always gonna be up there for me. But the big thing, the final thing I wanted to talk about when it comes to my favorite tech of 2024, I wanted to give the final nod to the Pixel 9 Pro. Now, if you've seen my update video, you know that I switched actually from a Pixel and I'm currently using a Samsung S24 Plus, and I love this, but I think even though I have learned that I prefer One UI and I prefer the Samsung ecosystem, I love this piece of technology. This was my first time ever even trying a Pixel phone. It's my first time using stock Android, and it was different and it was amazing, and I genuinely enjoyed it. There are things that I'm more used to when it comes to Samsung, and that's kind of what swayed me in that direction. But overall, it's not a bad device. The camera is beautiful. The battery life was actually pretty good, but the fast charging is not as good as the Samsung is. I also like, because I have a Samsung tablet, you know, my phone just syncs up with the tablet so well as far as text messaging and phone calls and just notifications as a whole. So that is a part of it, but just because I'm not using it anymore, or I'm not using it at this time, because I am forever learning new things and trying new things and jumping my SIM card from one device to another. I mean, I kind of had the same experience when I formally left Apple. It took me a very long time to fully commit to putting my SIM card into an Android device. It could take me a very long time to fully commit to putting my SIM card in a Google device, or I could just want to stick with Samsung altogether. But no, just because it's not the phone that I'm using at the time does not mean that I regretted my experience or regretted purchasing it, and that it wasn't something that I genuinely enjoyed. It was new for me. It was very different, and I think that this was the Pixel and the operating system that if I was going to try something for the first time, like, this was the one to do it with. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy that I tried it. I liked it very much. And yeah, and I love the S24 Plus. I do think that I want to go back to an ultra size phone, which is kind of crazy. The whole reason I switched to the S24 Plus is I wanted something smaller, but I kind of, you know, what it really comes down to is you kind of miss stuff when you don't have it anymore. I kind of miss having an S Pen, even though I feel like I didn't use it that much, but I miss having it. Some of the upgrades that they did to the S24 Ultra are amazing. And yeah, so I think that's going to be our next big piece of tech that we try out on this channel. We'll just have to wait and see. But I hope you guys enjoyed hearing about the tech that I used this year, whether it was bought this year, new this year, you know, whatever. I hope you guys enjoyed actually getting a little look into me and my tech and what I use on a day-to-day basis or just all year round. Some of the stuff I don't use every day, like the water bottles or even the mug, but like when I do use them, it changes my life. And one thing that people have said over on Twitch on my stream is that I'm very passionate about talking about the products that I love, and that's what really kind of made me want to discuss this. I mentioned very briefly the water bottles, and I did have a comment asking like, hey, what smart water bottle do you use? And yeah, I use Hydrate Spark. You know, I use an Ember mug. I've always loved technology, and I've always loved talking about technology. So I really want to thank you guys for giving me this opportunity to even have this channel so that I can discuss some of my loves and the stuff that I use. Like I said, all of this stuff was not purchased this year, but all of this stuff made my year and was used multiple times throughout this year. So if you like what you see here and you want to continue to see more tech-based content, please make sure you subscribe to this channel. I hope you like this video. Please leave me a comment down below if there was any tech that I talked about that you found really interesting, if you would like more information on any of it, or what was some of your favorite tech of 2024? What did I miss? What didn't I cover? What didn't I even touch this year? I'm so interested in what you guys have to say, and I will catch you guys at the next video.